right, Buzz, ladies and gentlemen, the con's not even open yet. I snuck up here in a half hour early. I'm with hotshot cover artist Maria fucking Wolf, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Woo, baby! I love Maria's art, and if you've seen her art, you love it too. There's no way you can ignore how talented she is, and I love that she's blowing up because I used to have to buy store exclusives, and now she just has covers coming out from Marvel regularly. How's that feel to just Marvel's dropping your covers like they're in shops, so you could see them on shelves? Like, what's that like?
You know, I still can't believe it. I'm still at that point. I've been working with Marvel about 2 years going on 2.5 now. And, you know, every Wednesday or every few months when I see my cover, I'm still baffled. You know, I can't believe I got here. It was a long journey, and, you know, I've met so many wonderful people in my career, and yeah, I mean, but I'm not going to lie to you. It's fun to see it, and I big smile and grin every time I see, like, especially when now they're starting to get more ratio, like 1 out of 25, 1 out of 50s, and now one out of 100s. And you know you're doing good when they start putting you in that, you know, that level.
Yeah.
So you're starting to become more rare and, you know, more wanted as an artist too. So.
And then you get to put your comps on eBay.
Oh yeah,
get
definitely.
that paydays.
Oh, of course. Or I take them to the conventions, and you know those collectors are just crazy. You know, they had that one exclusive, and they're all everywhere. So.
Yeah. I call myself a recovering variant addict. I've calmed down, but I was like. It quickly became I realized it was not sustainable to pay $20 to $30 for every single comic I wanted. But I save it for, I save those for rainy days. And I still remember, so the first time I saw your artwork was the By the Horns 1 in 10 #1 from Scout. And you said that was your first cover gig, right?
Yeah, that was. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy, I had just came out of a hiatus, and I was putting a lot of my work up. And then, you know, Marcuson contacted me, said, would you love to do a cover? This was my first published, you know, cover art. I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'll do it for you. You know, you're my buddy, so why not?
Yeah, I remember, like, them showing the variants and stuff for it. So, like, I didn't really know what By the Horns was. I got it in a press kit, and I was looking at the art, and I was like, wow, this is beautiful. And then I fell in love with the issue, and then I ended up interviewing those guys. They've been on the show a couple times now, but I still remember seeing that 1 in 10 variant and just all the details, just the little extra, you know, the lines, just your line work is just amazing. It was like I was watching you draw that Wolverine commission yesterday, and watching you like go over it looked like it was done. It looked like it was finished. And you just kept adding like a little bit of like some extra hairs here and there, and it was just like meticulously placing these little details. You have such a great eye for art, and your style is you can pick it out of a lineup. You can see it anywhere. You just instantly know that's Maria Wolf, and that's so cool. Like, it's so like to have such a distinct like artistic voice. What was it? Did it take you like a while to find that style? Like, or did you always kind of have like a similar vibe when you started drawing?
You know what? I have to say, see, that's the thing about styles. They always change every like few years or months or even weeks, right? I grew up with my style. You know, I started drawing since, well, my parents say too. I got more serious into art when I got into high school, but I feel like my style has changed because of, or what you see now and what you like is because of years of what I've enjoyed, right? So meticulously, like, I'm really big into kabuki. I like woodblock. I'm really into a lot of indie art too. I love a lot of mythology, video game art. You know, it just, everything that I've enjoyed so much growing up has now infused into my art. So whenever people see it, right away they go like, I don't know why I really like this. And I'm like, probably because you're like one of the subjects I like, you know, and it calls to you, right? There's a lot of spirituality in that too. A lot of people say there's like a native style to it. It's very powerful. It's very in your face. Maybe because I'm just naturally like that as a person too. But yeah, no, I can't say where my style came from. I just say I just tell myself, like, if it looks badass to me, you know, somebody else is going to think it's badass too.
It is very badass. I will agree with that. Now, it's interesting you brought up the native aspect, right? So when do you think about that, or does it kind of happen organically, like when you think about like your background, your culture? It's organic, right? It doesn't feel forced. So I mean, I don't know, does it happen naturally, or are these elements you think about when you're drawing?
I should just say it happens organically. You know, it's funny too, because when I draw these characters and stuff, and a lot of people come out like, oh, I see the spiritual influence, I see the native influence, and I'm over here like, oh, I didn't even think about, any of that, right? To me, it's a natural thing. I think my art, I truly believe, I like the idea of flow. Everything has to move and feel alive, right? I used to tell people, I don't think lines are straight. They're not meant to be straight. They're meant to have curves and forms and shapes, right?
Yeah.
They have to, like a wave. So I always tell people, like, whenever my characters are standing still, they're not really standing still. They're constant motion, right? And I guess that's why people feel like it's a very spiritual or very, like, native, like, because there's always, like, a flow to it, like a very spiritual calling to it, right?
Yeah.
Very immense power, right? But, yeah, no, I don't think of any of that stuff. Like I said, I just get into the picture and I say, let's just make this really cool.
I like this energy you're bringing about, like how things have to flow, how things have to look like they're moving. Especially, I mean, that's one of the struggles with comic artists, especially like in interior work, right? But in interiors, even though they're static images and it has to move, you still get panel transitions, which help that momentum, which help that flow.
Right.
But you do a lot of cover work, and so you don't get those panel transitions, right? So like you have this one big image that has to sell the book, call people to it, and also look like it's it's big and bombastic and it's moving and it's full of this like kinetic energy and it's ready to explode off the page. And you do that in every single image that you draw, and it's your artistic voice is very visible, and it's so easy. It's like I mentioned earlier, to pick your style out of a lineup. It's so impressive that you're able to just execute that again and again and again, faultlessly. I mean, like, I don't want to kiss your ass too much, but I'm just saying, like, you're so good at that. I mean, even like walking by your booth and seeing your big prints, your eyes just automatically just drawn to it, and you're transfixed by it, and the colors are so great. Is that hard too? Do you do a lot of your own color work?
No, that is from my buddy Mike Spicer, actually. So, which is the colors for Daniel Warren Johnson. So, when I first started off with Marvel, I was supposed to get another colorist, but at the time she wasn't available. So my editor's like, hey, do you want Mike Spicer? And I remember at the time I was like, Spicer, why do I know that name, right? And then that's when I found out, like, oh, wait, that's Daniel Warren Johnson, that's his colors, right? It's like, hell yeah, give me his colors, right? Well, what I fell in love with Mike Spicer was, so I've had colorists do my artwork before, and they always, I could see they struggle a lot because of all the detail I put, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to literally have a really good, keen eye to, like, see every little thing I draw. And my first cover, which was with Marvel, was The Women of Marvel. And when he showed me the colors that came back from that, I could not believe this man knew every single little detail I drew, right?
Wow.
He was very meticulous. He had this really cool color scheme. Like, if you look at a lot of my covers, they're very pop out. They everything pops out. And usually the rule is, like, if you have tons of detail, you cool it down on the colors, right? Because it's gonna get lost and, like, make everything like muddy or too much. Mm-hmm. But that's not the case, right? He just goes in and he's like giving neon colors and like crazy like purples and blues. And yeah, no, it's really truly because of Mike too. So don't get me wrong, people could tell you, oh, it's your detail, it's your art, but I'm always the one who goes against that. I'm like, no, it's not my art, it's the colors. The colors are what also attract everybody, so I give Mike all the credit, even though he's going to tell you, no, it's your art. I'm like, no, it's you. So I'm going back and forth and telling, compliments like, no, man, it's you. Yeah. No, it's you. So
you're the pretty one.
No. But yeah, Mike, and if you're hearing this, Mike, thank you so much. And to deal with all my BS of being like last minute artwork. So, but though, yeah, it's, and I think, once again, that's where the flow comes. Mm. So when you get my line work, you could see the flow. It's very intense. And then Mike does the same thing, too. There's a flow. There's ways where he's making the color and getting your eye to follow it. And it's that intensity that we both are really good at. So you put us together. That's why we're Team Wolf Spice. And I keep telling him that. I know he probably hates it, too. And Marvel will not have, give me another colorist. Nice. They love Mike so much. They like us as a team so much that even when he's behind and he can't get it done, they'll tell me right away, oh, we'll wait.
Nice.
Oh, we'll wait.
They can't break up the dream team.
They don't. Well, yeah, don't help that. I keep saying, Wolf Spice.
And you mentioned Daniel Warren Johnson, and I would be foolish not to talk about the gorgeous variant you did for Do a Powerbomb.
Oh yeah.
And you had kind of talked about a story the other day with him where you have your own project in the works, and you guys kind of like did a cover trade.
Yeah.
Right. And so he saw your cover, and you basically said like instantly he was like he wanted the inks, like he wanted
Right.
the real deal for him. What did that feel like? Like I know, you know, he's another one he's blowing up and extremely popular, and to have like an artist like that right now who just, you know, like you, like everybody says, like can do no wrong. And to have him like see that and say like, I need that for my collection. Like, is that going to be like one of those things you're going to remember for like a really long time? Like, I feel like that would just be an amazing feeling.
No, yeah. I mean, I was very honored. Well, how I met Daniel, well, I've always followed his work, right?
Okay.
Man's just a freaking genius, a god of ink, right? And I love it. I love inkers just because I myself ink my own work. So
Okay.
I love how to see how everybody does their own process. And I got to meet him. It was a really cool way. I got to meet him. He was on Instagram saying, hey, I have all this comic book paper. Who wants it, right? And then I was like, and all those, and I was like, yeah, I'll take it all. So I went over to his new house and I met all his family because they were all moving. So I met, you know, his mom, dad, his wife, children, you know, I think sister-in-law. It was just really crazy. And then we were talking about art and we got really more close to it too. And then I started seeing him more in conventions too. And we got really more close, talking about more art. And, you know, the man is awesome. You know, he loves what he loves, Gundam, things I like too. So it's easy to talk about that. And then I'm glad he just likes my art. You know, the cool thing about Daniel is like, he likes a lot of artists. And when he appreciates art, right? Especially style. He loves, because he's also a stylistic artist too. So yeah, that's what happened. He liked my work. You know, I liked him as a good friend, as a good peer too. And that's when he contacted me. He said, you want to do a Powerbomb? I was like, oh, I'll give you a Do a Powerbomb cover, you know. I'll give you a damn good Do a Powerbomb cover. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And it's cool too because he brought back my inner like wrestling kid phase. So I haven't seen wrestling for such a long time.
Yeah.
So then when I was doing Do the Powerbomb cover, I was like, okay, I had to research more. I was like, oh, I forgot. I used to beat up my sister just at school. I love this, you know. It's great. The drama, the acting, it's like, it's just the power moves too are just insane because they're like, ooh, that looks like it hurts. But, yeah, and then like I said, it's an honor to really have these really famous artists appreciate your work, especially when you're starting off. Like I said, I've been in conventions for a very long time, but I'm barely starting right now with Marvel. I'm only going on 2.5 years, and I've met so many really cool, talented artists and friends, and I'm glad to just say that I know them, my peers, that I'm almost their equal. I don't think, they say I'm their equal. I don't think I'm their equal because I'm still beginning. And I'm like, no, I'm you know, I'm at the lower half, and they see me already with them as well. But that comes to just respecting them as well, you know. I don't see nobody above me nor below me. Everybody's my equal. Yeah. I think some people appreciate that a lot because, you know, when people tell me, oh, you're friends with Daniel, I'm like, yeah, I know that guy. Yeah, he's okay. He's all right.
No, we're pals.
Yeah. Oh, I talked to Peach Mama. That's all right.
I love how humble you are, especially. I can see how easy it would be to kind of, you know, self-glamorize as you're getting more popular, you know, and I love that you refuse to do that. I love that you kind of keep yourself in check and you're like, you know, we're all peers, we're all nerds in this field, we're all struggling and just trying to be artists and live our dream. I think that's so cool about you. I wanted getting to like talk to you this weekend a couple times because folks, you know, this is the last day of the con and I've passed Maria's booth a couple times and then she sucks you in for 15 to 20 minutes. It doesn't matter how busy she is or what kind of crowd around her booth. She's just excited to talk to fans and you know, and potential clients. Like, I guess I saw her doing some great sketches and she even her remarks, we were talking about this, like her remarks are astounding, and she just gives everybody so much time, whether you're buying something or talking or asking about her art. And I think that's so cool. I like as a fan to be, you know, you make people feel important, and that's so cool of you. And I've said this many, many times, and I know I've kept you for about 15 minutes, and the show's about to
Hey, we could keep talking. You already know me. I could go on for hours. That's why Marcus and gave me to you.
But it's been so cool to watch more and more of your covers like pop up in the field. Like I said, you know, the first cover I got from you was a store exclusive from Vault for Barbaric. And then now you've done work for Kickstarter clients. You've done awesome Marvel pieces. That magic you just drew the absolute shit out of is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I've never seen the Soul Sword look so great as you made it. Like just the agency and power that you already gave a woman who has so much agency and power and a huge following. You just came out and impressed everybody to the max. And I want you to know, like, I really appreciate the time you've given me. I appreciate the time you give your fans. And I'm so excited to see where you go and what you do from here, because I feel like you're just gonna fucking soar, and I think you deserve it. I really do. I think you deserve it, and I love that you're working hard for it. And I know that you mentioned this is a ways away still, but you're gonna do some interior.
Yeah, so finally getting back to interior. Tim Silly finally caught me, so for many years, and I agreed to do a werewolf comic book. It is called Wild Game. So if you're a big fan of werewolves and blood and gore, I highly recommend you keep your ears open and your eyes too. Hopefully the first issue will be out at the end of summer, end of the year, but yeah, it's gonna be fun, you know. And it's for the longest because everybody keeps asking me about interiors, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll give you what you guys wanted. But yeah, and then after that, I'll be working on my comic book because I badly want to work on mine too. So
yeah. That's exciting. You said you're going to take that to crowdfunding, right? You're going to
that's going to be a crowd. So that one's called also Crimson Jaw. Definitely stop by my table and I will explain to you for a whole 30 minutes this project that I've been working on for 12 years of my life. So, but yeah, it's fun. Anything with werewolves, I'm going to just work on them. So
you do, yeah. You have I mean, the name aside, like you do have like a really like alpha wolf mentality like in your art, and it's like. Even like the fur you gave Wolverine on that piece you were drawing, it's just like your art has it has this like crazy detailed. It's so alive, right? And I think that works really good for for cultish creatures like a werewolf or like even dragons. Your Godzilla looks amazing. Your xenomorph, like you have this great you have a great portrayal of how to draw some of these things that we've all had in our nightmares.
Right.
But
I just bring them to life.
Yeah, you bring them to life, but also in like an approachable way where you're like I'm kind of scared of it, and I want that on my wall so I can see it every day. It's a weird juxtaposition.
It's very intimidating, right?
Yeah.
In a sense like that. Yeah, I mean, I grew up with monsters. That's how I started off. I didn't even know how to draw people. It was all animals and monsters, and I had to learn how to draw people afterwards. But yeah, and that's the thing too, you draw a lot of these things, and then when you come to conventions, you see how much other people really love, you know, Godzilla and monsters and dark and death and like vampires, zombies, all the horror stuff. And that's really cool too, because growing up with all horror and monsters and stuff, you put that into your work, and people are really like, you know, enthralled by it. They really want it. Like you said, I think that's why everybody likes my art. For some reason, you see something in there that just reminds you of something, you know, and it's just a mix of everything, and that's why it keeps calling to you, you know, or at least to me, because I know.
Now, real quick, I know you're about to get a crowd. The show's about to open. Do you have like a newsletter, or like where's the best place to like follow you and keep track of what you got going on?
Yeah, guys. Well, I mean, as long as you follow my Twitter and my Instagram, it's @thewolfmaria. I also have a Facebook page. It's The Art of Maria Wolf. Soon, hopefully by the end of this year, I'll get a website finally. I know everybody keeps asking me because right now all my products are only through conventions, but I'm trying to get better, trying to be more organized. We'll get there, guys. We'll get there. Thank you, everybody, for attending Planet Comicon and also listening to Blake's Buzz.